In this video, I'll show you how I went from the stock 4-piston brake calipers to the Brembo 6-piston calipers off of the Cadillac Escalade V. I am Stephen Wimberley, and this is Working with Wimberley. For those of you who just want the part numbers of what I use so that you can do this, they're right here on the screen. You can pause it and take a look. I just want to note that after you bleed the brakes, you will need a scan tool to reset the brake system. 2021 Escalade ESV Premium Luxury. I am doing the Brembo big brake upgrade from the Cadillac Escalade V. This car has the air suspension, so I have the suspension on service mode. The rear wheels are blocked, and we have the truck up on jack stands. Just want to give you a quick overview of what I'm about to do. You see a new rotor there. The other rotor is there. Those are the two calipers. I have my new pads. I have hardware. And in here, you can see I have the wear sensor. So I have everything I need. But I also went and purchased new brake lines. So these brake lines are actually for the Escalade V. And I just wanted to do that to make sure everything works and that I had the correct thread on the banjo bolt. And the great thing is if you buy the line, it actually comes with the bolt and new crush washers already attached. So that's going to make life a lot easier. And I can actually connect that to the caliper first. And I'm actually going to do my brake line connection here, because I'm going to remove this and install the new line. I'm going to leave this bracket here. I'm just going to disconnect it here, but I am going to replace this bracket. So we see it comes with both of them on here. So I'm going to use this one, but I'm going to remove this one. Okay, so I have the two bolts on the caliper loosened. Just want to show where I disconnected the wear sensor, and I disconnected it here from this bracket. So now when we unbolt the caliper, we can move it all the way back here out of the way. Okay, I have the caliper hung up off of the sway bar, and we can see that there's no tension on the line. All of the tension is on the hook. So now I'm going to remove the T30 screw from the brake rotor. All right, the T30 screw out. We can remove the brake rotor. And here's a quick size comparison of the old rotor versus the new. The new brake rotor is much larger. So that part was pretty simple. We see our two caliper bolts, the one screw from the rotor, and then this 110mm that we took a loose to get this bracket off. Actually, I think the next thing I want to do is just test fit the caliper, even though I'm pretty sure this dust shield is going to need to be cut. All right, so the first bolt up and test fit was successful. Great news is my bolts are long enough, so this will work great. I can reuse the bolts that were on the old caliper. I'm just gonna make sure I get a good amount of thread lock on these when I finally tighten them down. And it also actually clears the dust shield. So I took the cutoff tool and cut two small pieces right off of the ear of the dust shield, and instead of cutting all the way around it, I took my pliers and I just took the lip and bent it all the way back. So now this is flat all the way across. It goes inward towards the wheel well a little bit. I did a quick test fit with the rotor and it fit pretty good. It's a little tight right here. So I moved this back a little more. So now I'm going to get the rotor on with the torque screw and make sure that it spins clearly and does not contact the dust shield. I have the rotor on with the torque screw and we can see that now the rotor spins freely and it does not contact the dust shield at all. So you don't need to cut it, you actually can just bend it back. So what I'm going to do now is test fit the Brembo brake caliper with the rotor, and if this clears, I can start getting this stuff torqued down. I have the caliper bolted down, and so we can see everything clears. I completed all of the test fits and everything fits well. The larger rotor, the calipers, I was able to bend the dust shield back. You see I hit it with some black paint and I cleaned off the hub with a steel wire brush and just gonna hit it with a little anti-seize before I put the rotor on. So this side is ready. And I did the same thing over here. Dust shield is bent back, hit it with a little paint, cleaned up the hub with a wire brush, put a little anti-seize on it, and the rotors are ready to go on. After that, I'm going to load the brake pads into the calipers and get the calipers mounted. So this is my progress on day one. The rotor is good to go and bolted in. The caliper is in and bolted. Loaded up with the pins, the spring clip, and the pads. Still have the old brake caliper hooked up. The only thing I have left to do is disconnect that line and connect that line. And it's the same thing on the passenger side. Rotor, caliper, pads, pin, clip, everything's torqued down. The only thing I need to do is take off the old caliper by disconnecting the line there, hook up my new line from there to the caliper, bleed the brakes, and we are done. Everything clears wonderfully. So I did connect the brake lines and bleed the brakes. And I wanted to talk about bleeding the brakes for a minute, because if you look online, there are some that say it's impossible to bleed these brakes yourself, that you have to take it to the dealership so they can hook it up to the computer and bleed it that way. But I'm going to tell you what I actually did. I'm not going to tell you what I read or what I heard. I'm going to tell you what I actually did. So first off, I did also do the rear brakes, but this is a direct swap. It's not really an upgrade. You really just are changing the color of the caliper. Everything else is the same. I reused the brake line. I reused the banjo bolt. The only thing that I had to do was replace the crush washers on the banjo bolt. So I did that, and I actually did the rears on one weekend, and then I did the front the next weekend. For bleeding the rear brakes, I did the typical method that we all do. I had the hose connected to the bleeder inside a bottle with some brake fluid in it. And here's the thing. When you first crack open that line and you have someone in there hit the brake pedal, the ABS pump actually engages and you can hear it kind of goes zzz, 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 and it keeps filling the fluid. So the person isn't constantly pumping the brake. They just have it down and you can actually hear the pump engage and it filled up with the brake fluid. And then I closed it off. So that got all of the air out of the first line. When I went to the other side to bleed that brake, then it was the typical brake bleed procedure where you have the person put their foot on the brake, you crack the line, you see the air come through, you close it, they take their foot off the brake, and you repeat the process. After the initial one, the second one was the standard procedure to get the air out, and it worked just fine. And essentially was rinse and repeat on the front. Again, when I cracked open the first line,
had the person inside with their foot on the brake, and they just held it down, I literally could hear the pump going, and the fluid in the bottle just began to rise and rise and rise until I closed it off. And we do know that these calipers have bleeder screws on both sides, so it only did that for the first initial bleeder screw. After I went to the second screw, we went back to the traditional method where they put their foot on the brake, I cracked the line, you see the air go in, you close it, they take their foot off, and you repeat the process. And I did that for that side and this side. We went to the traditional method after the first bleeder screw, and it seemed to work perfectly fine. I got all of the air out. Now here's the thing. Once you go and start the car, all of these dash lights are going to come on. And this is where I think they say you need to take it to the dealership, because even though I have the air out of the lines, the system did detect that there was air in there. So you get a bunch of dash lights and the brakes aren't going to work properly. It's going to tell you can only go like 43 miles an hour or something. That's where the scan tool comes in. So this is the one I have. I've had this for years. The brand is launched. It is the 129X model. And with this tool, I was able to reset it. And once I reset the system, you can hear it clicking, buzzing, and doing all of these things. All of the dash lights go off, and then the brakes work perfectly. I went ahead and did the brake bedding process. That was fine. And even the auto braking works just as it should. I've had no issues, and I was able to bleed it myself. That's my experience. If you are uncomfortable with that, by all means, take it to the dealership. I just want to let you all know what I did and what worked. So I did this whole job here. I did not take it anywhere to get anything done. No more dash lights. The brake works. I have a firm pedal. If you found that video helpful, be sure to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment. God bless you all.